This is the Jasion Retrovolt Pro. It is a full suspension e-bike with a rear hub motor that you can pedal or use the twist throttle. We are at the e-bike test track and going to do some lap times. This first lap, I'm going to start out by using throttle only. Oh, pretty big air out of that one. Got some good power out of the corner. And then second lap, I'll start pedaling to see how much difference it makes. So able to double that. Handlebars moved a little bit, so I'm going to have to tighten those up. Push them back for now. Had them pretty tight, but that was a harsh landing. So now I will start pedaling, see if I can beat the time or if the throttle is actually going to be quicker. It does take a little bit of pedaling before the motor really kicks on. So I don't know if it will be any quicker. Didn't really feel like it, but the time will tell. I had a 19 flat with a throttle and a 19.2 while pedaling. So I think that's actually the closest it's really been between using the throttle and using the pedals, or one of the closest anyway. It did seem like the power when it did kick on was pretty strong while pedaling. So now we will see how Hannah does with it. Hannah's turn. We'll see how close she can get to my lap times. She has not ridden this bike at all besides getting out here, so might take her a little bit of time to get used to it. It does look a little bit on the big side for her actually, compared to some of the other ones that were like this style. They were a little smaller framed. It fit me better though, and she seems to be handling it no problem. Now she will start pedaling for this second lap, and these bikes are a little bit weird to pedal. I would prefer to just use the throttle, but we have to test out all parts of it, right? So might as well do some pedaling. It looks like it's taking a little bit for it to kick on for her as well. So I think her throttle lap is most likely going to be faster too, but the time will tell as she rounds this corner and hits the final jump. You had a 23.1 with the throttle and a 25.6 while pedaling, so you were quite a bit slower pedaling. How did it feel?
I think these kind of type of bikes for me are always a little awkward. I don't really think they really need pedals personally, but overall the bike felt smooth, and I like the throttle a lot more.
How about the suspension? It looked like it might be a little stiff for you.
It was definitely a little stiff. I actually hurt a little bit with my upper back with it, but other than that, it was pretty good.
We might have to test that out later with two people on it. Maybe they have a stiffer spring to be able to handle more weight on the back. We will see. I probably should have done this before Hannah rode it, but I'm going to let some air out of the tire now for a bit more comfort, since the rear shock is pretty stiff for her on it. Before we move on, I'm going to show you how easy it is to remove the battery. It comes with two keys, so you'll have a spare in case you lose one, but you insert it into the battery, turn it, and the battery slides out like so. And then to put it back on, you just do the opposite. Turn the key back and you are good to go once again. Time for the hill climb test. Hannah is going to start out using throttle only to see if it has enough power to take her to the top. Looks like it will, no problem. Slow down a bit, but not a whole lot. All right, let's see those brakes in action on the way down. A lot of speed coming in. How'd they feel?
It's pretty strong.
All right, my turn for the real test. This is the real test since I weigh quite a bit more. I will be surprised if it can make it with me on it. It's thinking about it. Oh, slowed down quite a bit more, but I'm up. Not every bike can make that on throttle only. Now I will test the brakes out here. Needed 2 fingers for that one, but they are strong enough. Now I'll do it pedaling just to show the difference in power, if it will kick on for me. Come on, it doesn't actually want to go. Okay, I'll try that again. Maybe I was touching the brakes or something. There we go, no problem. Now for the all-important skinny test. And I'm struggling, but might be able to save it. There we go. From the skinny to the fakie. Gotta stand up for this one. Oh, put my foot down though, that's no good. Let me try that again. Hopefully do it clean on the turnaround. Oh, not quite. Third time is the charm, I hope. It's a little tricky to get this turnaround, but there it is, all right. Now for the drop test. Oh, I was a little scared of that one, but it handled it. That was a pretty harsh landing. The suspension is not great for drops that big, but it's good to know if you are in town and jumping off a curb or something like that, the bike should hold up. Now for a bit of trials action, see how much power it has. Up that, no problem actually. Bounce over that log and up the hill. Not bad. We are cruising on our lane now, which is where this bike should feel right at home. Hopefully the suspension and tires smooth out the bumps, and looks like she's cruising pretty quick, so you can go as fast as you really want to out here. It could be a good bike for cruising around the farm, but we are going to jump into the woods and try it on some trails. These trails are nice and mellow besides a few tight corners, but she handles that one just fine. They should be perfect for this bike because they're nice and wide. Not much for rocks or roots, but enough that the suspension and fat tires might pay off. Looks like she's cruising pretty good already, so she's probably getting more and more used to it. Whoa, going a little too quick, lost her feet there, but holds on to it. She has the throttle to get out of situations like that, I guess. Here is another tight corner. See how she handles this one. Hopefully no problem. It would probably help if we switched the brakes. We usually run them motorcycle style, but I left them standard on this bike. Here is one of the steeper climbs around these woods, part of the mountain bike trail, and she makes it up that no problem, which is good to see. I don't think every rear hub motorbike would make that, so this one has a good amount of power for where we are riding. It has enough power that she's pulling away from me. Made it to our pond. How did it feel in the woods?
Smooth overall. I have a harder time reaching for the brakes because they're a little bit further away. I think that the hardest part for me was just trying to brake in the corners.
Yeah, I could see that, and it did look like you were getting more comfortable towards the end, at least when you didn't have to brake too much. So was it pretty fun in there?
Oh yeah, I had a good time.
All right, now let's test it out in the sand and see if you can make it across the beach. The fat tires should make this no problem, even with too much air. It's a little harder going uphill here, but I think she'll make it no problem. There we go. My turn for the sand, but I want to turn in it, get a nice rut going here. Now it's time to try out these passenger pegs here that fold down, and I'm actually going to jump right on the back, see if it can handle some two-up riding. Using throttle only, it takes off. Seems like just fine. Now for the true test, can it make it up the hill with both of us on it? I don't think so, but we are going to find out and see how close it can get right about there. So now we'll try something different. I'll try to start in front and pedal to see what happens there. Come on, kick on. There it goes. We're further than we were. I think we're going to make it barely. Oh, that's tough. Not quite. Well, we got close anyway. Now we're going to try it with a running start to see if that makes the difference. And we're so close, but not quite. Now with the running start and pedaling, we make it. One of the things I really like about this bike compared to other similar ones that I've tried is that it has a rack. It looks pretty solid and sturdy. It's built in, so it should handle the RC bike on the back no problem. So I'm going to head to the track with it. I didn't strap it down that well, and it might be nice to have some more mounting points, but it made it no problem, so now it's time for some fun. Okay, let's see how fast this thing goes. I'm going to start out on throttle only, holding it wide open on assist level 5, and I'm already up to 20 miles an hour, so hopefully I'll get up to top speed relatively quickly. We will see where it tops out at. I'm up to 28 now, and it's still pulling, although not as much as early on. It seems to be tapering off right around here. It actually doesn't seem to be going too much faster. Maybe there's 29. I got a slight downhill that should get me to 30, hopefully, but I don't think it is going to hit 38 like it claimed, at least not in these conditions with my weight right now. Now it's back down to 29, so it is not going to do anything over 30 right here, right now. I might have to try again with a full battery. Now I'm going to start pedaling and see what that does. I'm on the fastest gear on the rear derailleur and pedaling pretty quick with my legs. Not going any faster though, right around 29, there's 30. Now it seems to be picking up a little bit, but still pulling off right around 30 for as fast as I want to move my legs right now anyway. Now I want to compare what the speed on the bike says with the GPS on my phone, and it looks like it is very close, within a mile an hour or so. So it is good to know that the bike is not trying to lie to you by saying you are going a whole lot faster than you really are. Now I'm going to check what the speeds do on the different assist levels, and level 1 is around 10 miles an hour, so I will bump it up to level 2 and see where that takes me. That is 16 miles an hour. Now I'll go to 3, and that will take me up to about 22 miles an hour, it feels like. And assist level 4 will go to all the way up to 26, 27. Almost feels like 28 or so will be the cutoff, which is pretty close to what I was hitting on assist level 5 earlier. Now I'm going the other direction just to make sure it wasn't the wind slowing me down, and I am doing right around 29. So I'm a little disappointed in the top speed. The battery level also seems to be jumping around a little bit depending on how much power it is putting out, but the bike does feel pretty comfortable on the road. The tires and suspension are smoothing out the bumps and cracks well enough for me. If you want to find out more about this bike or pick one up for yourself, you can check out the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.